Oh my gosh. I'm so glad to be here. I'm so excited. I was I didn't really have any plans this weekend except for working because I don't really do anything for Thanksgiving. Like, I'm by myself. My husband goes to Daytona. He goes to the Turkey Rod Run every year. And so him and all his buddies, they go in their race cars and they go to Daytona together and they ride out there and go look at I went one time and I said, please don't ever invite me again. Like, listen, I got arrested for street racing when I was like 18. Like, I was a car girl, okay? And then I'm just not into it. Like, I don't want to do the car stuff now. It's boring to me. And so I just don't go. So he'll go every Thanksgiving morning. They leave and they come back on Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening. And usually it's just me and my son, and we put together the Christmas decorations and all that. But this year, my son is going hunting with his dad. And he has a 30, so he's got a 28 and 30-year-old sister and brother. They're all going hunting in Georgia, so I just sent him off. And oh my gosh, like I'm by myself. And if you're a mama, you know that sometimes like getting alone time is like just like being in the house by yourself is sometimes just a gift. Like, it's really, really quiet. There's not a lot going on. For me, Thanksgiving has never really been like a huge show of anything, right? Like we get together and have food or whatever, and y'all know I love some food. Y'all know I won't turn down food, but I don't like Thanksgiving food. I don't like turkey. It's always dry. I'll eat it. Like, it's fine. Like, my mom makes a banging green bean casserole, but you know what I mean? Like, it's just not, I don't like cranberry sauce, and it's not my vibe. So, hi, thank you for being here. I'm so glad you guys are here. This is so cool. I wasn't sure how many people would be able to pop on. I know it's Thanksgiving and everyone's with their family. But I told all my audience and my customers that I've been texting with, I said, hey, I'll be live on Instagram, and I don't know, maybe there's other folks that are alone on Thanksgiving and just wanted to hang out or have, I don't know, a place where they feel seen. It's weird. Like, people say, oh, what are you doing for Thanksgiving? And a lot of people get together with 30, 40 family members and they're all together. And, but then there's other people that are like, they're just like, that's not me. That's not my family. We're just not very close. My dad has 3 sisters and my mom has 2 brothers and a sister. So there's 8 of them all together. And then there's, oh, you got the drunk elephant. I just mixed the drunk elephant with the elastin. It's all on sale. The drunk elephant has these on the sale, and then the elastin is on mega sale on my Amazon storefront. So if you want my Amazon, whatever, the Black Friday, whatever, just comment Amazon. I think Instagram will automatically send you the link to it. But anyway, so out of all those aunts and uncles and all the cousins and everyone that I have, like, we're just not exactly like dysfunctional, or just not very connected, I guess. Like, we're just not very close. And when I was a kid, my dad was in the Air Force, so we moved a lot. So we lived in Italy twice, and in Texas and different parts of Florida, and we were just kind of all over the place. So we never really connected a lot with the family. And, you know, now that I have my own family, it's just not, Thanksgiving just wasn't, I don't know if it's just, I guess, different, because on Thanksgiving you're supposed to get together as a big group of people. And Ryan says he goes to his dad's house, and Ryan's dad is Italian. They're Spanish and Italian. And his mom, there's like 11 brothers and sisters and a ton of cousins, and they're all really close because, you know, Italian families are, you know, typically seem to be much more close. Cinnamon roll apple pie. Ooh, I've never had cinnamon roll apple pie. I do love a good apple pie. I will tell you, I do like desserts, but like, I don't like pumpkin pie. That's disgusting. I don't like coffee. And every time there's Thanksgiving, someone's brewing coffee. I can't. Oh, I can't. No. Anyways, I'm going to ruin everybody's Thanksgiving because coffee is disgusting. But anyways, so that's why I don't really do much on Thanksgiving. It's just not really a big holiday for me. And also, I noticed that when I was younger and we would do stuff with my family, there was no one ever talked about like what they were thankful for. Like, I mean, we did like, oh, what are you thankful for? But it was just like everybody's together, and then like you eat the turkey and everybody falls asleep, and which is great. Like, that's some great bonding time and it's relaxing, and I get that. But I don't know, like, I feel thankful even without being around everybody. You know what I mean? Like, anyways, that's why I'm alone on Thanksgiving. I was like, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, no, it's fine. It's quiet in my house. I can get stuff done. I can function and like focus, and just everybody's off doing their own thing. So it's fine. So anyways, that's why I'm alone on Thanksgiving. So if you're alone on Thanksgiving, or even if you're not, if you're with your family and you just wanted to pop on and say, hi, I'm really glad you're here and I'm thankful for you. There's a lot going on for me. Like right now, I sell the Saint makeup online. So if you're new here, this is the Saint makeup I'm about to do my makeup and get ready for my day. Black Friday sale went live last night at 8 p.m. And so it's been fun kind of seeing what everybody's been buying. And, I've been able to like text everybody. Everybody's texted me, hey, help me with this. And how do I get this? And I love do I have a holiday? 4th of July, because it's my birthday. 4th of July is my holiday. That's my birthday. Is like real fun fireworks. Tammy, the sale will be through Monday night. So all day through Cyber Monday, basically. Oh, that's a great idea. Going to the homeless shelter. That's amazing. Just comment match if you want to get color matched. But also, I've been trying to say, if you want to buy the makeup that I sell, this phone number that I post, y'all, I'm going to pin this so that you can see it. That phone number, that's a text number that I use to text thousands of people. Like that's how I connect with my 30 to 40,000 customers. I don't know how many there's a bunch. There's like 30 something thousand. And that's how I connect. And when you text me there, it is me who responds. Like it's not a robot or whatever. I do set up automation. So like for the Black Friday sale, I know, you might have gotten a text that says, hey, it's Mackenzie, your Saint artist. Like this is, the sale is happening. Here's a link, whatever. But other than that, if you reply to me, just save my number in your phone and you can text me anytime. Anyway, so I wanted to just kind of, hey, Tracy, so good to see you. I love that you guys are, popping on. I want to know tell me what you guys are doing. Like, are you with your families, and what's your Thanksgiving traditions? And I don't know, just like, what are you doing? I don't do the sports ball thing. I don't like sports ball. Y'all are gonna be like, what does Mackenzie like? She likes nothing. I like snacks and makeup, and I don't know. I really do like things, I swear. So there's sports ball. Obviously the Thanksgiving Day parade is always fun. But yeah, I like a lot of things, I promise. Laura, you can message me on Instagram, or just message me directly, whatever you want. Instagram trained. If you have questions, I'm happy to answer them for you, but I kind of really wanted to come here and share a little bit about why I'm thankful for you guys. And I think a lot of my audience doesn't know this. I think a lot of my audience, I think for influencers in general, and it's so weird, like using that term, but I think a lot of people, first of all, don't realize how much we have to be thankful for. And I think that it gets lost because we are so, oh, that's great, Tracy. That's smart. You're doing it tomorrow, so you're just taking advantage of today. I get that. This goes back to like finding it difficult to accept positive and making it so easy to accept the negative, right? So I am someone who for 40 years, I've been bullied and picked on for being fat and ugly. I was the girl who wasn't very pretty. I was always fat my whole life. I recently, over the last 4 years, you guys, if you were here from the beginning 4 years ago, you saw me you watched me lose 175 pounds. And it's kind of, it changes like your perspective on things or whatever. But even at 300 pounds, I had a lot to be thankful for. And it's easy to say that now, looking back, like, oh man, I really did have a lot to be thankful for. But in that moment, when you're in it, when you are in that feeling of despair, and when you are in that feeling of not really liking yourself and lacking confidence, because you have to remember, when you've been told one thing, hey, happy Thanksgiving, Maddie. When you've been told one thing for 40 years, you're fat. We're just going to stick with your fat, right? One thing, whatever it is. That's what you believe. So now, yeah, I've lost the weight and I've finally found things that help me and actually found something to help. I've focused on like my mental health and all that, right? So whenever you find, whenever you get to that point where you're actually not the fat girl, you still see the fat girl because that's what you've been told your whole life. So when someone compliments you, it's hard to accept because how could that be true if everyone your whole life has told you you're fat? And then someone says, oh, you look great or whatever, or you're ugly or whatever. How do you believe anything else? So that's why the body dysmorphia happens and all of that. So when it comes to, it's so easy to look back on those times and say, man, I really did have a lot to be thankful for even then. It's easy to say that. Hindsight's always 20/20. You can always look back and be like, man, I really did have a lot to be thankful for. But when you're in it, you can't see what you're thankful for because all you can feel and all you can hear is the negative and the you're so ugly, you're unworthy, you're not good enough. Hey Riley, happy Thanksgiving. Give your mama loves for me. Y'all have a really good Thanksgiving. I hope you have such a great day, sweet girl. Yay, Andrew, that's so cool. Saint is really good. This is one of the collections that's on the Black Friday sale. I just use the number 8 collection. So if you want to get started with your Saint makeup, I think the 8 or the 4 is a great place to start, or even the 12. Also, when I get a lot of questions about this, but when you're on a website, get the collection at like 20% off. You can add additional shades to your cart, and as you add more colors, you'll get palette credit, so you can add a bigger palette. So like if you get the 12, but then you want to add more shades, add the palette credit. You can get another palette and then put everything that goes in here, just put it all in here with whatever extra you buy. So you can add extra makeup. You don't have to just get what's in the, you know what I mean? And you can like play with it. It's really versatile. Anyway, so it's hard to see all the goodness and all the things we have to be thankful for when your whole life you've basically been told you're trash, you're worthless, you're a piece of shit, I put on here that I was talking about how guys would say, like when I would date them, like through college and my high school and college years, when you would go to date, like I'm someone who I love. Like I want to experience, love. And so I would date someone and they would say all the things that you wanted to hear. And they would tell you, oh yeah, you're so beautiful. Oh yeah. You're beautiful. And I just think it's great. You want to go back to your house and you're like, oh man, like this guy, he really likes me. And that's your way of connecting. And that he told you. They would say what you want to hear, and they would prey on those unmet needs, and those unmet needs are not feeling beautiful. And oh, Erin, that's so fun. I love that. I'm glad she loves it. I love when the younger ladies use the Saint makeup because it kind of shows you that less is more, and it's really cool. Anyway, so when people tell you what you want to hear and then they get what they want from you, and then the next day you're like, oh, that was really nice, and you got to connect with this dude or whatever, and he really likes me, and then he just never talks to you again, or when he does, he says, can you stop calling me because you're fat and I can't date you, and I'm like, literally just yesterday you told me how beautiful I was and whatever. It's terrible. Or I can't date a fat girl. You think I can bring you around my friends? You're out of your mind. And so that's my experience. And not everybody has the fat journey. Maybe you have an ugly journey, or maybe you had a lot of acne, or whatever it is. There's always someone out there that will exploit the parts of you that you feel are the absolute worst. They will exploit it. They will prey on the unmet needs, get what they want from you, and that's it. So everybody's out for themselves, right? So what I learned was, and I did not learn easily because I was like, well, that can't be everyone. And so I just kept trusting and trusting and trusting. What I learned eventually was that you can't trust anybody. You can't believe in anybody. You can't believe in yourself. You can't trust yourself. And when you continue to trust people and continue to get hurt, it's like, because people are saying all these bad things about you, your confidence is dwindling. Like, to hold on to your confidence takes a whole lot of work. And so meanwhile, your confidence is dwindling. And how shitty do you feel about yourself when you're like, God, Mackenzie, you just keep believing these same people over and over. So you, not only can you not trust people now, but now you can't trust yourself. And when you can't even trust yourself to do the right thing by you, how do you overcome that? Like, how do you ever overcome that? So that's been a journey that is really, I tell you all these things and it's like, oh, you can't listen to them. That's easy for me to say now. If I were to give advice to someone, I'd say you can't listen to them. But when you're the person that's hearing that, it's like, no, but that's all everybody says. So it's got to be true. And it's just not, you can't. Steffi, it's so crazy, right? And so like when you can't even trust people, and now you can't even trust yourself because of how often you're allowing people to hurt you. And it's like, then it's like, well, in general, you want to see the goodness in people and you want to see the not listening to my femtuition. Yep. You have to listen to your femtuition. Absolutely. We say it on the podcast all the time that your body's first response is always the right one, period. I don't care what you say. And, anyways, it's like, well, just because the last person lied to me doesn't mean that this person is going to. And it's like, don't punish a new person for what an old person did, right? And so you get into another relationship and then you're not trusting this person and they're like, I don't know why you don't trust me. I didn't hurt you. They did. And it's like, but if that's all you know, that's all you know. So anyways, the reason that I'm talking about that and why I'm thankful is because being here in this moment is something I struggle with. Being where your feet are, like enjoying just this moment. I'm constantly thinking about the future and I'm preparing myself for the hurt. I'm preparing myself for the, okay, I'm believing this, but when is it going to hurt me? Okay, I like that. So you train yourself not to like things. You train yourself not to get too excited about things. Hey, Sonia. You train yourself to, you don't allow yourself to like or enjoy anything because the minute you do, it's going to hurt you. And so, oh God. Yeah, exactly. Like, so, if you're new here, yes, constantly waiting for the other shoe to drop. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you. I hope you like that mirror. I think you're gonna like that one a lot. It's good lighting. Anyways, constantly waiting for the other shoe to drop. Like, okay, when is this going to blow up in my face? And so if you're new here, if you're not, you might know my story. Hang with me. When I finished high school, I finished early because I hated I did not want to be there if I didn't have to be. The kids in high school, they were assholes. They were all mean to me. Everybody made fun of me whenever they could. I've been pushed into lockers. I was pushed into a set of lockers by a girl who said, "Get out of my way, fatty." And she took me and shoved me into lockers. Do you want to know what that girl's doing now at 40 years old? She's serving beer at Hooters. I'm just letting y'all know. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, who are you really serving? Like, what are you really like, who are you giving back to? How are you contributing? And it's like, not that, like, I don't mean to say there's anything wrong with that, but to come from to be someone who was bullied by this person. And now this is a person who is, she served me beer at Hooters. Like, do you know, like, what do you do? Like, what do you do with that? And so it just goes to show you that, like, people don't always turn out to be, like, Nobel Peace Prize winners. Like, oh, that girl, she knocked me into a locker. She was my bully. And now here she is winning Nobel Peace Prizes. Like, that kind of would suck, right? But no, she's not doing any better than you are. But when I was in high school, I graduated early, hated everyone. They were just so mean and they were so stupid. I didn't want to be around them. They wanted me to take this pottery class. And I'm like, why am I taking pottery? Like, just to finish the school year because I finished all my credits. I was, like 12 credits into an associate's degree by that time. Like, I didn't need to go to school. So I graduated early, whatever. And, I didn't start college right away. I waited like a year because I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. And I was depressed because, I was just working and didn't really have like a purpose in mind. I didn't know what to do. Kind of my my struggle was real with my weight and with dating, and just kind of hated myself, felt really low, never really felt encouraged by my mom and my dad got divorced when I was 9. And from the time I was 9 to the time I was 19, my dad just wasn't around. Like daddy issues, like textbook daddy issues. He wasn't there. And so like my brother's 16 months older than me. And when I was 16, my brother left for the military. And I was like, now my brother's gone. So now I lost my best friend. And my mom is a lesbian. Like, she was with women. So there was no man that really came into my life to really set a standard for how men should treat you or how men, whatever. I just had my mom. And my mom is a great mom. Like, she's wonderful. There's no, like, we were always like, not really, we didn't have a lot of money, but she made sure we ate. Like, the bills were always paid. Knowing now, I didn't know then, but knowing now, she struggled to pay them, but the bills were paid. We always had a house. We always had a car. We always had whatever. And she made it happen. And she tried to be as encouraging as she could as a single mom on a single mom budget, working her butt off. But being a single mom, she had to work longer hours. She had to work harder to take care of us. So she wasn't there as much as she wanted to be because she had to work if we wanted to stay fed. So it was like so I didn't get a great chance to really be around my mom very much. And so those times when I was a teenager, it was a lot of relying on other people for growth and, learning about the world, I guess. And so that's when you get really influenced by your friends. That's who's there the most. And so then when your friends are telling you, you're fat and you're ugly and you're the designated ugly fat friend, it's called the duff. So if someone says you're a duff, you're the designated ugly fat friend. You're the wingman at the bar. You're the one that they say, oh, go find out if that guy's single because I want to talk to him. Like, they humiliate you. They make you do the humiliating thing. You do their bidding. And so it's like, oh, get that guy to buy you a drink and give it to me or whatever. Like, that's what the designated ugly fat friend does. So after I graduated high school and I go into college and, I was drinking a lot. Nothing like everyday drinking or whatever, but when there was a party, I was there. And when there was drinking, I was there. And I was ready I would, hang around with the guys and we'd all like slam beers and I was showing them that I could, I could do something right. Like, I'm not pretty. I'm fat. Everybody's told me that. I'm not worth anything but, getting what you want from me. And then that's it. So like then I became one of the guys and started hanging out with the guys and started racing cars, which is why I got arrested for street racing. And I learned how to fix cars and I learned how to tune cars and I learned how to do everything with cars because that was the only thing that would, the guy community was so like easygoing, right? I love you, Rachel. Happy Thanksgiving. You give those girls love for me. Tell them I love them. And I can't wait to see them again. So I got into the cars thinking, well, and this is why a lot of women say, oh, I don't hang around girls. I want to hang around guys. Like, I'm just one of the guys. Because when you hang around girls, like, girls are bitches. They are mean to you. So mean. Even at 40 years old, some of these women are mean. But, so when that's your experience, is that my dad wasn't there. I had no man to set an example for me of what a good man should act like. And so you just kind of seek whatever you can, wherever you can, and that's your validation. And when your girlfriends are like, well, you're the designated ugly fat friend, like, you're not worth anything. So your worth is 0. Okay. So now, like, in high school, solid honor roll, but every time I never got not honor roll. Like, I was always honor roll, graduated top of my class. I went to college. I have several degrees in criminal justice, top of my class, top GPA. I never skipped school. I never missed school. I never missed nothing, nothing. I never missed anything. I was perfect attendance. All the things. Like, I was a bookworm because that's the only thing I was good at. And you didn't have to be pretty for that. You could just be good at it and it's okay, whether you were ugly or pretty. And I was a dork. Oh, you're just dork. All you care about is your schoolwork. And it's like, well, I'm y'all keep telling me that I'm fat and ugly and I'm worth nothing else. So yeah, I guess I'll do school. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, what do you do? And so if it's not one thing, it's another. Like if you can't, like if you're fat, then you got to be smart, or you got to be funny. If you're ugly, you got to be funny, because if you're ugly and you have zero personality, no one's going to want to hang around you. So then you start using silliness and sarcasm to cope and start to connect with others. You're like, well, I'm ugly, so better say something funny so people like me. And so you learn to make fun of yourself before anyone else can. You acknowledge it before they can, because it hurts less. If you do it and you say, hey, like, hey guys, they're like, hey, this is my friend Mackenzie. And I'm like, hey, don't mind the pimple on my face. I just brought a friend. Like, so that they couldn't be later like, oh my God, you have such a big pimple. Like, if you acknowledge it first, it takes all the fun out of them making fun of you. Or if you say like, hey, brought my big fat belly with me. You got any food? It's a coping mechanism. It's a way to acknowledge it and get it out of the way, address the pink elephant in the room before anyone else can. And then you go your whole life doing that. So now you don't want to be the ugly fat girl. So anyways, I hope that paints a picture of like my beginning, right? And imagine all this trauma. Not to mention when I was a little girl and my dad was around, my dad was a drill instructor at a boot camp. And so his discipline methods were looking back, it was abuse. 100% it was abuse. There was no, back then we didn't call it that. Like back then it was very, he's a good Christian man and he's a strong disciplinarian, and it was abuse. There was mental abuse. There was, you bend over the bed with your pants down around your ankles and wait till your dad gets home for hours. That's traumatic. That is so traumatic. And when your little butt is this big and your dad's cot belt is this big and this wide or whatever, and so it's terrifying. So you become afraid of being alone with your parent, and you just can't wait for the other parent to get home. But what can the other parent do? To them, they were taught also, this is not abuse. Like they didn't like it. Anyway, so it's very hard, and it's a different generation. Like now it's totally different. If anybody does that to my kid, sign me up. I'm ready for that jumpsuit. Go ahead. Go ahead. Put orange my new color, because mess with me. See what happens. Mess with my kid. Come close to it and see what happens. You know what I mean? Y'all know what I'm saying. So there's all that trauma. And when we would get like a bad grade, like if I would get like a B in one of my classes, it was like, why isn't this an A? Like what can't you freaking understand? And so it was a lot of like, if it wasn't perfect, you might as well have not done it at all. Like you might as well have just failed it. So even now at 40 years old, if it's not perfect, it is not good enough. And so there's like the abandonment, the trauma, the fear, all of these, you don't realize how much of that sits with you. So, and I've always been like kind of a bigger kid, right? I was never like a little kid, but I wasn't huge. But I was never like a little kid. I was a little fat. And that's my dad's side of the family. We a little chunky on that side, and it's genetic, whatever. Hey, Marcy, it's so good to see you. Beautiful. I hope you have a great day. Hey, Jackie. Oh, I love Colorado. I went there for CrimeCon. I went to Denver. It was so beautiful there. I just loved it. I did a surveillance there this time last year, actually, also. Anyway, so all of this is like kind of the backstory, right? So, I promise this is all leading to thankfulness, I swear. So all of that, right, is happening, and you like I have this trauma in my head, and I'm just like, man, that really freaking sucks. So then you're getting into these poor relationships, and every time, oh, Tiff, you're so close to me. I graduated from Riverview High School, class of 02, baby. So you have all this trauma, and you don't realize it's trauma. You really don't, I think. You're like, oh, that sucked, and that happened, but nah, my dad was just a very strict, person. Wendy, I do have a PI story posting tonight, a Thanksgiving story. So that'll be posting tonight. So I hope you enjoy that. So you go through this childhood like, Mom, that's how it was. That's how the cookie crumbles. So we didn't have money. We got beat down every day not beat down, but it was abusive. It was a lot of abuse. It was a lot of a lot of abuse that sticks with you, and even some of those childhood abuses that I experienced, I find myself responding to at 40 years. I'm 41 years old, and and you don't realize it. Anyways, so that's the foundation, right? So then I go to college, and I graduated with honors, by the way. I didn't have anything else to offer. I wasn't pretty. Everybody told me I was fat. I was worthless. I didn't have value at all. So might as well be good at school because I could control that. That's the only thing I could control. And I got honor roll and graduated top of my class. When I was in college, I knew I wanted to do something in law enforcement. My dad was a drill instructor at a boot camp, and then he was in law enforcement. So my dad is actually he's been in corrections for 30 years, however long. And so his whole life, okay? So that's his experience. And so I was like, well, I kind of want to do something in that field. And I love anything true crime, anything that makes me think, or anything that's a challenge, or anything like a mystery, who done it. I'm a competitive person. And when you're competitive, you kind of have that, I'll solve this. And so that's when a lot of the true crime junkies come out. And if you're a true crime lover, I need the pieces to this puzzle. I can put this together, and it becomes a challenge for yourself. So I love true crime, and I love, I also love hearing stories about justice and overcoming the criminal justice system and, the court system, all of that stuff. It's just very intriguing to me. And as my dad wasn't there, when I was in college, he started to come around a little bit more. As I said, hey, Dad, do you want to maybe, be a dad and hang out a little bit? I'm in college now. No more child support. You're free and clear. We don't have to do none of that. Don't worry about it. I don't want your money. Do you just want to hang out or whatever? And so I kind of encouraged a relationship. So we let that relationship start to grow. So I'm in college and paid for it by myself. Didn't nobody help me. I'm still paying off my college. Well, actually, I just paid them off. They're done now. So I have no more college debt because of my Saint business, but we're getting there. It's full circle, I swear. So I am in college, and I get to the end of my first college degree that I was getting, and we were talking about careers, and we're sitting in a class because they have a placement program at the school I went to. And so when you graduate, they'll help you find a job, doing whatever. And so we're looking at the different careers and the salaries and, what would you want to do? And what would be, worth it for you? If you make this much money doing this job with this job, so what are you passionate about? Whatever. And so I always wanted to be on the SWAT team, because remember, when you're fat and ugly, you got to hang out with the dudes, because you got to show that if you're fat and ugly, you got to be a badass, or you got to be funny. And so I was like, I could do something. I want to be a badass. I could kick down doors and blow shit up. By this time, I had done some training, some firearms training, which I started to get really good at. That was one thing that my dad and I started to do over the last couple of years. And I was like, I'm a natural with, a firearm, really good, well-trained, very knowledgeable, very educated, know all about the safety, all the things. And I really enjoy it. And so that was something that we did. And I was like, okay, I could do that. I could kick a door down and wear the cool, Kevlar and all that stuff. And I could really take down some bad guys. I could really help the community. I could do something in my community that is really badass too. Right. And so, and you don't have to be pretty for that. On the SWAT team, you don't have to be pretty. You could just be a baddie and whatever. You don't gotta be pretty to be on the SWAT team. You don't gotta wear makeup. And so I was like, that doesn't require me to be pretty. And so I did have my nails done. I would get my nails done because my fingers are short and fat, right? So when I don't have my nails done, it just makes my fingers look shorter and fatter. So I would always get my nails done. Well, my professor, we were talking about our careers, and I said something about the SWAT team. My professor says, well, you can't have your nails done if you're going to be on the SWAT team. So you'll have to take those off. Sorry. And when you get embarrassed and people have been making fun of you your whole life. Now, mind you, I've been ugly and fat my whole life. Okay. So I'm in college now, and in my head, this is embedded into my head. So I already don't believe in myself. Okay. Already. And this guy says, well, you can't have your nails done. Well, now, not only am I competitive, not only do I not believe in myself, but now I've got this class of 20 somethings that I'm embarrassed now that he's told me I can't do something, because I'm already fat. I'm already not pretty. And now you're telling me I can't do something, and everybody's like, ooh. So now I got to come back, right? If you're not pretty and you're fat, you got to be funny, or you got to be witty. So I said, fine, I'll make my own rules. I'll be a private dick. So when you're in a class full of 20 somethings and you say the word dick, everybody laughs. And I'm like, remember, not pretty, and I'm fat, gotta be funny. So now I made everybody laugh. So I was like, thank God. Oh my gosh, I do. Tiff, will you message me? Because I do. We want to do the Hannah started the Don't Get Killed Club in LA, and we want to do a Don't Get Killed Club here in Tampa. So yes, that would be great. I would love to chat with you more about that. Let me know if you have anyone specific in mind, because we are looking for a self-defense situation here. So yeah, I would love it if you would help me with that. That'd be really cool. Anyway, so I made the whole class laugh because I said the word dick, and I was like, who does he think he is? Well, then he comes back at me and he says, a private investigator, huh? He said, you'll never make it in that industry because you're a girl, and that's a man's industry. So not only did he embarrass me and I clapped back, but then he clapped back at me, and I had nothing to say. And I was so embarrassed because the class was like, ooh, again. I don't have nothing to say. What do I say? I had already clapped back. What do I say to that? And I was like, what? The man wins again. Like, someone else gets to tell me I can't do something or tell me I'm not worth something. So ever since he said that, so now I have that belief in my head. So now I've grown up basically abused, abandoned by my dad, who was the only man that I had any like reasonable expectation of teaching me what a man should do. He wasn't there. My brother had left for the military, so he wasn't there. I just had my mom, and if she wasn't single at the time, she, had a girlfriend or whatever, because my mom is a lesbian. So there's no guy, there's no men, right? So there's no men in my life. I had no example set for me. There was nothing. So after he told me that, and I'm fat, I'm ugly, I have, all these people telling me I'm worthless and all these things. And now I've got this man telling me that I can't be a PI because I'm a girl. So now I'm a fat, ugly girl that's worthless. What am I good for? What can I possibly do? What can I offer to anyone? I have nothing to give. I have nothing. No one's ever going to love me. I'm never going to be good enough for anything or anyone. So you just kind of go about your life, and I'm strong-willed. So I kind of, I kept on about my life and did my thing, got my college degree and all that stuff. But that night after he said that, I went home and I said, tell me I can't. So I was like, out of, just to be facetious, like I kind of went home, I got on the Google machine, and I'm like, can you be a PI? Like, how do you be a PI in Florida? And I'm just like, Google machine. And it said, you do this, and you go to the FBI, and you have to do the fingerprints, and you got to do the background check, and you got to do all this stuff, and you got to send in your application, and you got to do all this. And I was like, all right, check. And wouldn't y'all freaking know it, the state of Florida sent me a private investigator's license in the mail. The card had my picture on it, my name, my information, and it said private investigator license across the top. And I was like, well, I'll be damned. Yes, you can. And so that was like my, yes, I can kind of moment. Never talked to that professor again. He didn't know. He didn't know nothing. To this day, he's probably dead. He was old as Methuselah then, so I'm certain he's dead by now. Bless it. But so that's what had happened at that time. So then I say, oh, private investigator, cool. So I find a job as a PI. This company was like, hey, listen, we got kind of a low budget. We're willing to pay an intern to come in here. We can pay you much less to do this job. Here's your case. Here's an address. I said, y'all gonna explain it to me how this works? What do I do? She said, go to this address and do surveillance. Like, just go? Like, get in your car and go? She's like, yeah, you got your windows tinted, right? I'm like, yeah, got my windows tinted. She said, go. So first, I did my very first surveillance as a private investigator in front of my subject's mailbox. Just sat there. I didn't know. I was like, when she comes out of her house, I'm going to see her. I'm sitting in front of her. I didn't know. I was like, if someone's sitting in front of my mailbox, I'm going to assume they're there for the name. But I live in a cul-de-sac. It's a whole big thing. Anyways, I didn't know. Okay. I didn't know. There was whatever. I just didn't think about it. I wasn't thinking. I didn't know what to do. So I didn't know you sit far away, like blocks away with, the furthest away you can be and still have a view of the house. So I'm sitting in front of this person's mailbox. Hey, happy Thanksgiving. I'm so glad you're here. Thanks for being here. I hope you guys are enjoying your day and enjoying your families and food. So I go do the surveillance. Nobody trained me on nothing. That very first day on surveillance, I got busted. Because of course I did. These people come out, I chased them down, they chased me down, they called the cops, they were videotaping me, I'm videotaping them. It was a whole big thing. It was a shit show. So then I said, okay, well, here's what happened. Give me another case, I guess. So they kept giving me cases, and I kept messing them up. And I didn't believe in myself because I'm a girl. That's a man's industry. I'll never make it as a PI. So that was playing in my head. And I was like, I'm never going to be good at this. What the F am I actually doing? So I was a PI because this man told me I couldn't, but it was paying the bills. Like they were paying me. They were paying me in rubles. They were paying me in pennies, but it's fine. What I was like no years old, so of course. So over the next year that I had no experience, no idea what I was doing. Mind you, I know, right? I want to come over right now. I'm the ugly fat girl, traumatized by this abuse and the abandonment and all those things that you don't realize is still in there, but it is. And everybody telling you you're worthless and all of these things. And then your college professor telling you you'll never make it as a PI because you're a girl and that's a man's industry. And now you're failing as a PI because Hi, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for being here. Happy Thanksgiving. So now I'm failing. I failed my very first time as a PI. So my belief in myself, 0 again. Not that it was ever anything more than 0, but it's 0. Are all these different things happening that are just like, I mean, there were the good times too, but I don't remember. I will be honest, I do not remember my childhood. I remember the abuse. I remember the fear. I remember the emotions. I remember the lack of self-worth. I remember the tears. I do not remember birthday parties. I don't remember anything good. I don't remember it. I don't remember. All I remember is the trauma. Like when I look at pictures, I can kind of see, like I can kind of remember things, but I don't remember. So yeah, I'm by myself today. My son went hunting with his dad to Georgia and my husband went to the Daytona Turkey Rod Run. They do that every year. So I get to hang out. But I don't like Thanksgiving food though. I don't like turkey and I mean, I like it. Like, I'll eat anything. Listen, I'll eat anything, but it's just not my jam. Yes, the trauma takes over. Yes, I blocked out my childhood, but I still remember all that bad stuff, right? So, don't ask me why. I'm a woohoo case, okay? Whatever. So now, the college professor says you'll never make it as a PI because you're a girl. So then I become a PI, do my first case and bombed it. So I'm like, yeah, I'm literally worthless, okay? Oh, barbecue ham. Now ham, you're talking my language. Y'all talking my language with the ham. That's why I like Christmas dinner. So I kept showing up because I got to pay my bills. So I just keep showing up. Eventually over the next year, I taught myself how to do surveillance. Like I kind of learned what worked and what didn't. And I got, the very first year I did surveillance, everybody that I followed, I lost them. And they were like, why do you keep losing everybody? Just drive where they drive. Like, how do you lose them? How do you keep losing people? And so they were just like, drive where they drive. That's it. Well, whenever you follow someone, like when you're doing surveillance, it's hard because if you stay on someone long enough, you're like, oh my gosh, are they going to notice? And then if they make a U-turn, you're like, oh my God, they totally know. And really they're just like, they missed their turn or something. And so it's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of stress. It's a lot of wondering. It's a lot of anticipation and a lot of anxiety that builds up because you're like, you don't know what this person is doing. Steffi, no, I'm so sorry. Oh, I do like chicken. I do like chicken. So anyway, I lost everybody that I followed. So the second year, this is my full-time job. Like I am a surveillance investigator and that's all I do full-time. That is my full-time job. So got to pay the bills, right? So I'm doing surveillance the second year and I said, you know what? Screw it. I'm not losing any freaking body. I'm going to stay on them until the cows come home. Well, what I learned was that when like there's a balance, right? And I didn't know what that balance was. So the first year I lost everybody. The second year I got busted on like every case. Like every day I was getting busted because I was just like staying in their tailpipe. Like I'm doing mobile surveillance and I would follow somebody and they would notice me because I was just close. Like whatever. So I took that year to kind of learn. So then after those 2 years of kind of one way too far and the other end of the spectrum was too much. And then I kind of learned a balance. So I'm learning how to follow people and I'm learning how to, do it well. Well, after the first couple years of that, like now I've kind of got it down. I've taught myself how to do surveillance. I graduated from an intern license. In Florida, you have to do a 2-year internship, or if you have a criminal justice background like I did, it was 1 year, and then you could do your C license, which means you don't have to be an intern anymore. So you can charge a little bit more and you can, work for other companies, whatever. Hey, Kay, happy Thanksgiving. So, So then I get my C license and I open my agency. Yes, I'm totally going to save this. I'll post it. I hope they let me. It's going to be more than an hour. So I hope that they should let me post it. So I finished my internship, opened my agency, and I'm able to start doing cases for myself and for other PIs. And so in the private investigator industry, it's basically a network of good old boys. It's all a bunch of good old boys doing surveillance. Like that's what we do, right? So, you're doing surveillance for other companies now, and now you can work with other people and you can subcontract and all of these things. So I figured out how to do that, and I figured out how to, grow my agency and grow my business. And so now I have my own clients. I'm kind of making my own rules. I can do what I want, and I'm starting to trust myself more, even though I didn't before. Because now I'm kind of running the shots, right? Like no one's telling me, oh, you did this bad. So like, I'm not pretty. I'm fat. I shouldn't be a PI because I'm a girl and that's a man's industry. I have trauma and abuse and all of these things. And so now this is the one thing I have control over. I'm going to be damn good at it, right? Yes, Tiff, I have. I've done surveillance in dungeons and sex clubs. Yes. Strip clubs, sex clubs, dungeons, all of it. Yes, ma'am. It's wild. Nudist communities, which if you go back and watch my PI stories, I think there's one of each of those in the PI stories. But yes, I sure have. So, doing the PI thing really brought out something in me that was like, this is the one thing that I'm going to be good at. And now I have my own business. No one can take this from me. This is what I have control over. So when you find something that you have control of, you don't let go of it. And I'm going to, trigger warning, I'm about to share something super intense that involves like some like really intense kind of stuff that happened to me when I was 13. So I just want to share with you. So trigger warning, earmuffs, if you don't want to hear it. But when I was 13, my very first sexual experience was with a boy who raped me. He was 17. I was 13. My friend had come over and brought her friend, and then he brought a friend, and I didn't want to do anything with him. Like it wasn't anything. And that was my very first sexual experience. Okay. So mind you, abusive like home situation. And then you're 13 and your dad ain't there. Like you don't have any man kind of telling you, and you have all these other people saying, well, this is all you're good for, whatever. And then your very first experience is like you're raped by this boy who's much bigger and much older than you. And so that kind of sits with you too. And I say that because when you start to learn that's what your worth is, like you start to lean into that. And then it's like, well, now I don't have control over even my own body. So when you have zero control, or what appears to be zero control over anything, then now being a PI, this was the one thing I had control over. But here's the caveat to that. The caveat was, as a PI, you are in a car with black tinted windows by yourself, isolated from the world, by yourself, all alone. Nobody's with you. You don't sit in an office with other people. You don't interact with other humans. I mean, you talk on the phone, like you can FaceTime your friends and stuff, but when you don't trust anybody, and when no one has shown you any kind of love or any support or any respect, like you don't want to confide in anybody. So who do you talk to? Your mom? I mean, that's great. I love my mom. Like I love my friends, whatever, but you're isolated. And so when you are told when you're told you have nothing and that you're good at nothing, and you become a private investigator because someone told you that you couldn't, you lean into that. And so you become a workaholic. And so when you become a workaholic, now I'm working 6-7 days a week, more if I could. And you're working anywhere from 4, 6, 8, 20 hours a day. You're in your car with the black tinted windows. When you go home, you would go home to, like at overtime that I eventually got married and had my son, whatever. But when you would go home, you'd go home to a dead, silent house. No one's there, and you're isolated. And when everybody's kind of made you feel like you're a piece of shit, like that's kind of what you believe, but you're good at being a PI. So you lean into that. So I'm working 6-7 days a week as a private investigator. That's what I was doing. He told me I couldn't, and I was. And so for that, I was like, yeah, hell yeah, I'm sticking it to the man, right? So eventually years go by, and about 5 years into being a private investigator and sitting in my car on surveillance, isolated, playing Candy Crush, you're watching Netflix, whatever will keep you busy, because the whole time you're doing surveillance. Oh, thank you so much. I'm so glad you listened, and thank you for referring others to the podcast. A lot of people have said that it has been really helpful, or, cathartic, or just that they feel less alone. So thank you for listening to the podcast and for recommending it, because I do think it actually is really, really helping people, and that makes me feel so good in my spirit. So thank you very, very much. That means a lot to me. I want to screenshot this because I want to send it to Hannah in case Hannah's my co-host, if y'all don't know. So anyways, so now I'm doing something that I feel is great, but I'm a workaholic. 5 years into this job, I've got it down. Like I've nailed how to be a PI. I've got these other private investigators. Now, mind you, other PIs are ex-cops. They are, most of them are ex-military or ex-law enforcement. So they're older, they've retired, they got injured on the job, whatever. Now they're PIs. Very few women, but so by this point I have like 600 PIs in my Rolodex. Like I know every PI in the state of Florida. If they needed a female to do a surveillance in the Tampa area or wherever, they'd say, hey, I got this case, can you work it? Or, hey, I got this case down in Miami. At the very beginning, you're single, what else do you do? So yeah, so you take the faraway cases, the cases that no one wants, and you just become really good at being a PI. And so, people would count. And then over time, I was able to build my reputation as just being a really good PI. And I did, over time, earn the respect of many, many private investigators and even the male PIs. Like, they call me because they know that I'm good. And they have a lot of respect for me. So I've really appreciated how far that's come. But anyway, so I became a workaholic. Angie, I totally can. It's actually on a Patreon episode of the podcast. When actually that kind of plays into this too. So 5 years in, I'm doing surveillance, and I kind of like, I'm the ugly fat girl. Everybody's told me that my whole life. That's not something that I would say to myself. That's just when people tell you that's what you believe. So I am of the belief that I'm an ugly fat girl and whatever. So I didn't wear makeup. I was just like a, kind of a whatever. And I would wear guys' cargo shorts from Target, and I would shop in the guys section. I would wear the guys' Adidas slides and the guys' cargo shorts and the guys' t-shirt, because I figured if I tried to look pretty, then I look like a fool, because you're just an ugly fat girl. So what are you trying for? Do you know what I mean? Then you just look stupid for trying to, like, you can't put lipstick on a pig, as one of my exes told me. Like, you can't put lipstick on a pig. Basically, like, you can put lipstick on, but you're still going to be a pig. You know what I mean? And so I was like, well, why try? Because it's not worth it. So why try to put any effort into myself? I'm still going to be the ugly fat girl. That was the whole thought process, right? It's what you can't help that you feel this way. Now, mind you, I have never been a thin person. But I did, like, over time, looking back on it, like, I can kind of see where being on surveillance, you eat a lot of snacks. So I could, like, the job really contributed to my weight gain. But also just like, oh, I really would like to go to the gym and work out, but I'm the ugly fat girl. What's the point? Right? So it's like, you're already a worthless piece of shit, as everyone's told you. So why try? And that's what I'm experiencing now, hearing from other ladies. So that's really interesting. So yes. Plus, if you try as a girl, some stupid guy comes along with rape on his second mind. Yep. And then if you dress this way, so you deserved it, or, you were asking for it or whatever, because what the fuck is wrong with our society? Anyways, so yeah, you can't win for losing. You really can't. So anyways, I didn't really try. Well, my best friend, the nail junkie, the one who does my custom press-on nails, she had moved to Tennessee after, like, we've known each other for like 30 years. We've been best friends for 30 years, and she had moved away. Well, she came back into my life about that 5-year mark of me doing surveillance, and we started talking on the phone more and connecting, and then we would FaceTime, and she'd be doing her makeup, and I'm like, oh, that looks really cool, I want to learn how to do that. And so we would FaceTime for hours and hours and hours. I'm doing surveillance and she's at work or doing whatever she's doing, and we would do makeup together. Well, then I kind of got really good at it because she taught me, like, eyeshadows, and then I'm like, oh, well, I want to play with this. Well, then when she wasn't around, that's when the YouTube kind of started getting big, and I was like, oh, let me watch these influencers on YouTube. And so I would sit for hours on surveillance, and I would watch YouTube videos. Like, have you ever watched like a pressure washing video and you're just like, like, whoa, that's really cool. Or like now it's the carpet washing videos. I can just watch the carpet washing videos and it's like, yes, this is so exciting to me. And so, speak up about what had happened. Yes, exactly. Hey, Tosh, how are you doing? Y'all, Tosh that's the girl that does my merch, and she's the one that I asked y'all to pray for because her husband he's fighting for his life in the hospital, and we gonna fight for him too. And so I asked for prayers. So, that's her. So y'all give her all your prayers. I love you, Tosh. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much. I hope you have a great day. Happy Thanksgiving. Hey, Maria, happy Thanksgiving. Beautiful. So glad to see you. So I started getting good at makeup because I was watching them do it on the YouTube machine. And I was like, oh, that's cool. So then you'd have like one influencer and she's like, I use the Revlon, whatever. You got to get this and use it like this. I'm like, okay. So I'd go to Walgreens or Walmart or whatever and I'd buy the makeup, or go to Ulta, go to Sephora. And I was influenced. Like they were showing all this makeup, and I was like, okay, I'll try it. And so over time, little by little, I started building up my collection of makeup, and I was like, oh, okay, like, yes, it is a very lonely, isolated world. And what do abusers do? They manipulate you by isolating you. But when you're a PI, you isolate yourself. You're isolated, but you don't realize that that's what's happening because you're doing it to yourself. You're choosing this. So it's not, nothing's happening. Like, you know, nothing's happening wrong or whatever. And you don't realize it. But after 20 years, I was isolated, and I realized now that it was a prison for me. It was a prison. I put myself in prison for 20 years. Anyway, so they would tell me, go to Ulta and buy this, and go to Sephora and buy this. And so before you know it, I had this big collection of makeup, and I would just do the makeup. So I would sit in my car on surveillance for 6, 7, 10, 12, 20 hours, however long it took. And some of those hours, people didn't do nothing. Sometimes they would leave their house and go to Disney World. Sometimes they would leave and go to the grocery store. Sometimes, whatever. You follow them wherever they go. But most of the time, it's sitting. It's more sitting than it is actually doing stuff, right? So when you're bored, that's what I would do. Is some people, y'all would not believe what some of these investigators do on surveillance, but whatever. We'll talk about that another time. But I would do makeup. And so I would put a face on, and then I would, yes, exactly, choosing my own narrative to protect myself, and I was in control of it. So I would put my makeup on, and then I'd be like, oh, well, this other influencer is saying try this. Then I'd take my makeup off, and I would go through a pack of makeup wipes a day, just like putting it on, taking it off, put it on, taking it off. So imagine doing that for 15 years. So for the next 15 years, that's what I did, is I did makeup in my car, put it on, take it off, 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 whatever. And then during that time, I got really good at it. I learned what works, what doesn't work, the colors that look good, the colors that don't. I started getting an eye for it. Well, then, about a couple years into it, people would say, hey, will you do my makeup? And I'm like, me? No. Why? Yeah, I get it. Why? And like, you're really good at makeup. I would love for you to do mine. And I'm like, okay. So then I would do their makeup, and they're like, how much can I pay you? And I'm like, don't pay me. It's not worth that. Like, I'm worthless. I'm a worthless human being. Like, don't pay me. I'll just do it just because, I don't know, like, I want people to like me. You don't have to pay me nothing. Just like me. Okay. Because this is, mind you, my history of trauma and abuse and rape and assault and, being told all these things. And it's terrible. So, I would just do people's makeup for free. And then it is an excellent use of time. So, I got good at makeup. People would ask me to do their makeup for their wedding or for photo shoots. And they're like, I don't make any kind of actual job of it. So I just stayed doing surveillance and kind of did makeup on the side if someone needed me to. But I was like, what if I mess it up? Because I'm a fuck up. I'm worthless. I am not worthy of proper love. I am not worthy of, the respect that my body deserves. I'm not worthy of any of that. So whatever. So anyways, then little by little, people were like, oh man, my family would notice. And when people would notice and they would see my makeup, they would always comment and say, your makeup looks so beautiful. They would never say, oh, you look so pretty today. They would say, your makeup looks so pretty today. Your makeup looks nice. You have a pretty face. If you just lost weight, oh my gosh, you'd be killer. You'd be stunning. if you only lost weight. Oh my gosh, for a big girl, you're really pretty. There was always a caveat. I could never just be pretty. I was never just pretty. Like, and not that you have to be pretty to be worthy, but it's kind of like, just don't say anything. Like, you know what I mean? Just don't say anything. If you don't think someone's pretty, you don't have to tell them they're ugly. Just smile at them. Like, you can still be kind. Like, you don't have to, you know what I mean? And so if you want to acknowledge someone's makeup, be like, hey, your makeup looks really nice today. Like, that's not a bad compliment. But when that's all you hear and you're lacking the you are pretty part, you start to see, now this is what I'm good for. So first it was, I became really good as a PI. Yeah, you have a pretty face. Exactly. So first it was being a PI, and I became really good at that. I had my private investigative agency. I was killing it. I was doing the thing. I was good at social engineering. I was good at getting information from people. I was good at using my charm, my fat little chubby round face to get some information because people trusted me. Yeah, always a caveat every time. So I'm telling you, people will straight up tell you, you'd be pretty if you lost weight. Every guy I dated, it was like, you're fat. Like, thanks for the sex, but like, you're fat. So like, please stop calling me or whatever. Like, it was bad. And, yes, private investigation is still a viable money-making career. Yes, you can make 6 figures as a PI. Absolutely. Yep. If you're going to, PIs are lazy and they think it's just like an easy gimme job. You have to be dedicated. You have to be willing to work the crap cases that nobody wants at first. You have to be you have to be honest. You have to be on time. You have to be really hardworking and self-motivated. And then, because you have to establish yourself, because people know PIs are sometimes scumbags. Like they're lazy and they think it's just like an easy surveillance, whatever. No. So if you can do that, then absolutely. Thank you, Rachel. I love you. Okay, so now people would tell me like, oh, your makeup is always pretty. So first I leaned into being a PI because nobody could take that from me. And then they started telling me your makeup was pretty. So then I leaned into the makeup. So I kept doing more makeup and more makeup and more makeup. Oh, thank you, Hope. I love you so much. Thank you for that. Thank you. That means so much to me. So then people started telling me, like my family, my friends, they'd be like, you should do makeup videos. You should do makeup videos. Who the F is going to take makeup advice from the ugly fat girl who ain't worth nothing, according to what everybody's been telling me all these years? I ain't worth nothing. I'm worthless. Like, I have no value. I'm worthless to everybody. Like, what do you mean do a makeup video? Who's going to take advice from the ugly fat girl? And look at all these beautiful influencers online. I could be nothing like them. Like, there's plenty of influencers. No one's going to listen to the ugly fat girl on doing makeup. So I sat in my car and continued to do makeup by myself for myself. I would leave my house at 4:30 a.m. to do a surveillance. And I would, hey, Gabby, I'm so glad to see you. Happy Thanksgiving. I would leave my house at 4:30 in the morning for surveillance, sometimes even earlier. And I wouldn't get home till 7, 8 o'clock at night. And sometimes I never saw not one single soul that whole day. But best believe I had my makeup on because that became my value. That became my worth. My makeup became the mask that I could hide behind so that if I had to encounter anyone, maybe they would say, your makeup looks so pretty. They weren't saying I was pretty, but it was a compliment nonetheless. I was finally getting complimented on something. So you grab onto it. So as a PI who was told I couldn't do it, I was the fat, ugly girl and all those things. And I told you about all the trauma and the abuse and all of that. I'm having this career that a lot of women don't do. Like, it's mostly dudes. More women are getting into it now. And I think you should, because women get a lot more information than men, I think. But anyway, so now, the makeup thing. So I leaned hard into the makeup. And I would watch these influencers and say, I can do nothing of the sort. Absolutely not. So I lean into the makeup. So about in January of 2022, by this time I had been doing surveillance for 16 years, something like that, whatever. And, that's how long I'd been doing survey. Like, that's how long I'd been a PI. And that's what I did. So isolated. So that many years isolated, just about 7 days a week in a car, like by myself, doing God knows what, crushing candy, watching Netflix, doing makeup, all the makeup, like I had an entire duffel bag filled with makeup and brushes and sponges and liquids and powders and creams and all these different things and all the things that the influencers were telling me to buy. And I had it right there so that if I watched a video, I could be like, oh, I have that. And liners and pencils and gels and all of it. A duffel bag that I took with me every single day on surveillance, because that's what I did. That's how I spent my time. So in January of 2022, I had been doing surveillance for like 15, 16 years. And again, with the influencers saying, hey, do this makeup, and I'd go to Ulta and I'd buy the makeup. And I saw one of these girls, one of the Saint artists, like the makeup that I sell now, you've seen these palettes before. I saw one of the girls, or several of these girls, this is when it started like kind of coming up a little bit, and they were putting the makeup on, and they would put the dots on their face, and it's called the Cheetah Hack. HAC, highlight and contour. And it was the cheetah method, because you would do the dots and then you would blend it and it would be perfect, and it was perfection. Now, mind you, at this point in my life, I don't trust nothing and nobody, and I don't do gimmicks, because the one guy selling you the vacuum cleaner at 2 a.m. and you're like, take all my money, and you get it in the mail, and it is my whole life. Every guy I dated, garbage. Everything I bought on the QVC or the online, garbage. It was never what it said. So then you don't believe any gimmicks, nothing, no gimmicks at all. Trying to lose weight. By this time I was, 300 pounds. And, you would try to lose weight, but garbage, because if you had to diet and exercise and do all that, which I would do, and I would lose, significant weight. As a matter of fact, before I had my son, he's 11. Before I had him, I lost 100 pounds just doing diet and exercise, like calories in, calories out, and Zumba. That's all I did before my knees turned into Rice Krispie treats. And so I knew that you could lose weight, but then you gain it back because your self-worth still isn't there. So you still eat like an asshole, and you still, it's a lot. So, ooh, the nails. Yeah. That's how my best friend got into doing her press-ons, because she got hyper fixated on it and became really good at it. So anyway, so now it's January 2022. I've done surveillance for 15, 16 years. I'm 300 pounds. I have nothing. What good am I to anybody? Still kind of, don't feel a lot of value. By that time I was married to my husband, and even dating him, like I met him on Match.com and Plenty of Fish, and we had been talking or whatever. And by the time I met him, I was at a point where I was like, hey, man, like, F guys, like, the next guy who talks to me, I'm going to treat him like trash. And so he tried to talk to me, and I treated him like trash. Like, he'd text me on a Tuesday and be like, hey, beautiful, how are you? And I'd text him Friday and be like, oh, hey, sup, dude? Like, that's how I would talk, because I was like, they want to act like a fool, I'm going to treat them like a fool. And that's what I did. Anyways, eventually we got married, because when you're 300 pounds and the ugliest you've ever felt in your life, and you're just years and years into feeling worthless, if a man asks you to marry him, you don't say no. You say yes. And don't get me wrong, I love him, like, obviously. But also, you don't say no. So you do it. Like, someone, they're offering you, you take it. When someone finally loves you, you just take it. Great man. Amazing man. He's amazing to my son. And I'm so grateful, that today, like, you still have that in the back of your head, that you're not worthy, you're not good enough. And so just because one person says, oh, you're so beautiful and I love you so much, it doesn't erase 40 years of everybody telling you that you're a piece of crap. So I'm thankful for him. He's an amazing man. And he's good to my son, and he's a good role model for him. So, but I feel valueless. I still feel unworthy, and I still have my demons from, all those years. So January 2022, and I see the Saint artist putting on the makeup. By this time, I don't trust nothing and no one. So my instant thought is, that's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. I got to try it. Because remember, I'm competitive. You tell me I can't, and I'm going to try it. You told me I couldn't be a PI, so I tried. So when I saw these girls doing that, I was like, that's so stupid. Let me try that. So I go online, and I'm like, I want to buy this makeup. I want to try that. Because mind you, I've been buying makeup from all the influencers, and I was like, that's normal stuff. Well, this was not in stores. This was like a weird makeup, and I'm like, that's freaking baloney. Let me try that. So I buy the makeup, and it, like, all these different shades, and I didn't know anybody at Saint or the company or whatever. I just went to the corporate thing and Well, I didn't know this at the time, but when I bought the makeup, when you buy the kit, like I wanted all the whatever, you're buying a kit to sign up to sell it, because back then it was a MLM, like the multi-level marketing, the direct sales, the pyramid scheme, as I thought it was. And I had just watched the LuLaRoe documentary on Netflix, and I was like, we're all going to go to jail. We have to flee to Mexico, sell the house, change your name. Like, we are leaving the country. Like, we are done. And because after I bought the makeup, it sent me an email and said, hey, congratulations, you signed up for our MLM program or whatever. And I'm like, no. But I was like, well, what are they going to do? Like, I read the agreement. Like, there's no, there's no minimum or anything. Like, you would just, like, play with the makeup. So I was like, all right, well, I'll just try the makeup anyways. No big deal. I'm not going to sell it. So I get the makeup and I was like, this is trash. Boop. In the trash can. Built my palette, put my makeup on. I was like, that is the grossest thing I've ever experienced. So I put on my makeup again. Trash. It was all trash. And I threw it all away. And I was like, this is stupid. Because it wasn't what everybody else was. It wasn't what the other makeup was doing. It wasn't like the typical standard foundation and the baking and the powder and the contour and all that stuff. This was different. And so I was like, yeah, that's stupid trash. And then I was like, well, let me try it again. Because that's like, it's not for me to just like stop, to give up on something. That's not me. Like, whatever. So I was like, I'm going to conquer this. So I went back to the same artist, the stupid girls I saw doing the stupid dots on their stupid faces. And I was like, that is so stupid. But I threw my palette in the trash 3 times because I was like, this is stupid. This is dumb. And so then I just kept watching the videos and I was like, oh, I get it. So then little by little, as I put it on, I was like, this is different than the liquid foundations or whatever. And I was like, oh. So then I realized, like, all the things that I try to teach about it, and I try to educate everybody on, like, it's different than your liquid foundation. It's much lighter and it's easier to blend, whatever. And so I actually learned it and I was like, I've conquered it. So then I felt good that I conquered this makeup that I thought was stupid. So once again, I felt like I didn't have that belief, but I could control this. And I controlled it to the point where I nailed it. I learned it. I memorized it. I learned how to apply it. And I taught myself all the ways to apply it. So I'm not a professionally trained makeup artist. I've just been doing makeup for so long and so many hours and so many times that it's just, you know what I mean? Like, whatever. So, I nailed it, perfected it, because what else do you do when you're on surveillance? You play with makeup. And so when you say, I don't know how to conquer, I conquered all the makeup that all the influencers showed me, and all the Rimmel and the Revlon and the NYX and the e.l.f. and the Urban Decay and the Too Faced and all these products. Nailed it. Next please, next challenge. And then when Saint came along, it was a challenge and I didn't get it. So I threw it away, and then I was like, nope, I don't give up on a challenge. I'm going to nail this shit. And sure enough, I did. I learned how all the different brushes work, and I learned how they work with this particular makeup, because I was used to liquid foundation, and I would have because I would wet my sponge to do my liquid foundation. And so I would have a cup of water and I would squeeze it in there and I would like tap, tap, tap. Oh my gosh, you're at Buc-ee's. Get me something nice. I love Buc-ee's. I could spend hours at Buc-ee's. So anywho, I figured out this makeup, nailed it, right? So then all these years of people telling me, oh, you should make makeup videos. And I'm like, first of all, yeah, freaking right. You got me bent if you think I'm going to make a makeup video and make an ass out of myself. You're out of your freaking mind. So at this point, I have an Instagram, but I don't really do it. I post like pictures of Ryan or something on it. Like, I tried to like just have like something fun, I guess. But it wasn't anything big. I didn't have TikTok, and I had 71 friends on Facebook. And as a PI, I'm like, Brenda, what do you mean? There's no Buc-ee's here. Where are you at? All of it. Bring me the candied pecans for sure. The candied pecans, pulled all of it. The cookie, all of it. There ain't one in my town. Where are you? I have so many questions. Anyways, so I have 71 friends on Facebook. They're all either people that I knew personally and intimately, or we had the same blood running through our bodies. Like, you know what I mean? These people are related to, or I know them very, very closely. And they're a lot of guys. Oh, you're in Daytona? Are you at the Turkey Rod Run this week? I have so many questions. Anyway, so I have these friends on Facebook, and just because it kind of felt like, well, no one's actually going to care. Like, no one, who am I going to embarrass? My grandma? Like, you know what I mean? If I do a makeup video. So kind of playing pretend, I equate it to playing dress up in mommy's closet. Okay. I am not a grown woman. I do not have boobs. I am a very young girl and I cannot fit these high heels, but I'm going to put them on anyways. Right. So that's what I did. So playing in mommy's closet, just to pretend, I did a makeup video using the Saint makeup, because now I was like, oh, and then I liked it. Then I was really confident in it. And I was like, I could do a makeup video. I never wanted to sell the makeup. I didn't want to be a part of this illegal pyramid scheme thing. No part of it. Didn't have no interest. Nothing. I was like, nobody's going to care. Who's going to be embarrassed by me? My brother's battle buddy that I'm friends with on Facebook, my sister-in-law, like, what are they going to do? So I was like, I'm just going to make a makeup video because it would be fun. So I'm sitting in my car and I did a makeup video and I posted it. And I explained it in a way that was like, hey, I'm trying this new makeup, like just pretending to be an influencer, right? Like imagine a little girl sitting at a pretend vanity and she's got pretend makeup and imagine that. That's how I felt. That was my experience. So I do this makeup video and I post it and I'm like, all right, well, that was stupid, but that was kind of cool. That was fun. I got to be an influencer. I made a makeup video. 71 friends on Facebook. Who the F do I think I am? Nobody. I was just playing around, just being bored. And as a private investigator, I've always thought, well, I need to have everything on lockdown. Like no one can know that I exist. And also I didn't feel worthy of existing because everyone told me I was a piece of crap. So Facebook lockdown, Instagram lockdown, nobody knows. And so who am I? Like, you know what I mean? It was on lockdown. And then out of nowhere, out of the freaking, I do not know where she came from. I don't even remember who she is at this point. I didn't know that she would be significant in my life. But she saw my makeup video and said, what makeup is that? I want to buy it. And I'm like, well, you ain't buying it from me. I'm not selling this stuff. I'm trying to go to jail. And go sit with that LuLaRoe lady in the jail cell. No, ma'am. I'm not selling it. Like, good luck. It's called Saint. Like, here's the people. And she's like, no, I want to buy it from you. And I'm like, first of all, who the F are you? Where did you come from? And second, I don't actually sell it. I was just playing with it. Well, let me tell you, this lady that I have no idea where she came from out of the blue bought makeup from me, and I found out about it because I had like a $17 commission or something. And I was like, well, all right, cool. Like, I made good money as a PI. I didn't need no money. I'm not a money person. I don't care. Like, I'll blow it before I say it. I don't care. It's whatever. I'm just not driven by that. So I wasn't driven by like, oh, I could earn an extra income. Like, I don't give a crap. We're well fed over here. I ain't worried about nothing. And so, I didn't care to sell the makeup, but I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. She bought makeup from me. It's kind of neato Cheeto. Didn't think anything of it. Don't know where she came from. I don't even think we were friends. I think she just found me randomly, but my stuff was all locked up. I was all private. So she buys this makeup for me, and 2 weeks later, I get a video message from her in my Facebook, in my Facebook Messenger. And this was a video where she's holding her phone and she's doing a video like this. And she's like, Mackenzie, look at my makeup. I have never felt so, and she starts sobbing. I've never felt so beautiful. Look how pretty it is. I'm crying and it's not even coming off. And my husband is complimenting me. And look, I just put it on just like you explained, and you explained it so easy. And I finally understand makeup now. And crocodile tears running down her face. I think she maxed out the time on the video because it cut her off eventually. And I was like, I didn't know what to say. Like, what do you say to that? So she's sobbing, and this video is just of her just the whole time of everything going on. Keep in the back of your head, trauma, abuse, unworthy, not pretty. I'm fat. I'm not worth anything. I have no value here. Nobody loves me. Nobody likes me. I'm not good at anything. I have no control over everything. My body isn't worthy. Nothing is good. Right? And then someone tells you, oh my gosh, I have never felt so beautiful. You taught this makeup to me. And the makeup doesn't make people pretty, right? Makeup is just a nice way to actually enjoy what you see in the mirror, just because you can enhance your features or whatever. It's just a way to kind of zhuzh it up a little bit. And I don't know, have a little bit of confidence. Like, there's, maybe a feature that you can enhance that just really brings out your eyes, or something that you just really appreciate. Do you know what I mean? Like, Makeup ain't gonna make you pretty, especially if you got an ugly heart. You kind of screwed. I don't care how much makeup you put on. You still, if you got an ugly heart, ain't nothing can fix that but the blood of Jesus. Like, you're that's it. So, she says this to me and I'm stunned. I have no idea what to say. And so I said, wow, that's really incredible. Thank you so much for sharing that with me. Like, I'm really glad that, you know, I was able to help you in that way. And sorry. I don't know to this day who that one was. I do not remember. I could probably look her up in my orders. I probably should do that and see who she was. But it was like, for the first time in my life, I had brought value to someone. I had a purpose. If it was just for this one woman who finally felt pretty for once in her life. I don't know where she came from. I don't know how she found my Facebook. It was blocked. I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know what inspired me to make that video. I felt stupid making it. But then after she saw it and I was like, who is this lady? Then I felt stupid and I was like, oh God, can anybody see my video? And then I thought about it for a little while and I was like, oh my God, if she can see my video and she's a stranger, I need to go delete it because that means other strangers can see it. So I go to delete it. And there were other comments from other people. I guess she had sent a friend and they had told their friend or whatever. So now we have all these people watching this video that are commenting on it. And I'm like, thank you for being here. And they were like, oh, this is great. What is this? I want it. And I'm like, what is it? What is it? Whatever. And so I was like, listen, I don't know nothing about color matching. I don't know the shades. I was born this morning. I don't know nothing. Like, good luck. Here's the link, but I don't know how to help you, so don't count on me. I mean, you can buy it if you want, but it wasn't my intention to, to sell it. So, and mind you, the idea of selling makeup when you come from abandonment and trauma and rejection your whole life, you don't want to sell makeup on a www. You don't want to sell nothing, okay? Because sales it can be run. You don't know sales. Nobody wants to do sales because it's hard. It can be traumatizing. So imagine me traumatized AF and these people are like coming to me and I'm like, I don't want to sell makeup. Like, I'm so insecure about this. Thank you. Oh, you guys are so sweet. Thank you, Candy. Authenticity is God's work. It really is. I do think the Lord struck something. Praise God. He used my mouth for some kind of good because I'm talking my whole life. Talks too much. So anyway, so now we've got other people commenting on this video. Well, one girl, she wanted to have a party. And I was like, what's a party? What does that mean? She's like, will you host a party? And I'm like, what is a friggin' party? Well, apparently if you sell things in an MLM in the pyramid scheme, you do like a party where like if this person, they bring their friends and then you try to sell the makeup to them and their friends. And then you try to get them to like sign up and sell it and all this stuff. And I'm like, I don't know what a party is. I don't know how to do that. I mean, tell me what to do and I'll be happy to help, but I don't know how to help. Well, she sold, I think it was like the Red Aspen or the Color Street nails or something. I think it was Color Street. And so she was a Color Street girl and she knew how to do these parties. Like she was an MLM girl all the way. Like she was one of those girls. She sold them the shit out of those Color Street nails. And she was really good at it. So she's like, just start a Facebook group and I'll invite my friends and all the things. So I did what she told me to do. And I was like, I don't know how this works. And she's like, just post your link here. And she was telling me, this girl from Color Street was telling me how to post things, how to sell my makeup that I didn't want to sell because I didn't want to be a part. I didn't want to go to jail and be a part of this pyramid scheme, Netflix biography, autobiography, documentary situation. No thanks. One lady, she told me that I made her feel pretty, so fine. I'll do it. And she brings like 30 girls. She invites 30 girls to this little thing. And she's posting and she's like, you guys, my friend so-and-so told me to get this makeup and I did. And, you got to buy from Mackenzie and all this stuff. And I'm like, no, please don't buy makeup from me. So then I have 30 girls at one time. I'm like, my second month in, I have no idea what's going on. Like by this time I'm talking to a couple people, but I don't know much. I don't know what's going on. And so I have 30 women at one time that want a color match. Heidi Ann, I know who she is, but I'm not friends with her. I never really was. Like, we were never, like, friends. I just knew her from there, but, I do know who she is. Like, she lives in my town. And so she tells me what to do. I do it. I have 30 girls wanting a color match. I don't know how to color match myself, much less you. And the whole concept is you go to your Saint artist and you say, hey, what's it? Now, I joined apparently I signed up under corporate. I didn't know anybody. Nobody recruited me. No, the girls doing their makeup, and it made me want to buy it, but I didn't sign up under anybody. I just went to the Saint website, like www.saintofficial.com. Like, it wasn't like anybody's particular website where they earn the commission. I was just under corporate. And I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, what do you mean do? I can't color match you. I was like, good luck. I think you're this color probably. Like, I'm this color, so maybe try this one. And apparently, it was pretty good. It was decent. Well, by this time, I had been posting in the Facebook. There's like a Facebook, a Saint Facebook artist group or whatever. And so I'm like, hey, can y'all help me? Well, they don't want to help you if you're not signed up under them, because no one's going to do the work. Like, when you sign up under somebody, then they earn a commission. And I was like, well, these people aren't going to want to help me because I'm not under anybody. And everybody's like, join my team. And I'm like, nah, bro, like, I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to be a part of this pyramid scheme situation. I don't want to do it. And so it was like this big, like, thing where people wouldn't help you unless you join their team. So anyways, I met this one girl, and she finally, after three or 4 months or whatever, I finally joined under her team because I needed the help. I couldn't do it on my own. And by this time, people are telling their friends, and I don't know, all these saint artists are sharing the makeup online, and they have these big followings. They're doing all this, they're doing the damn thing. Like, why is everybody coming to me for makeup? I don't want to sell. I don't want a part of this. I don't want to be in this MLM. I don't want it. Because it has a bad rep, and I already have trauma, and, you know, I'm already insecure about it, selling stuff online. I don't want to do it. Like, I don't want to join my team. Like, buy. Because I would share that with people. I'd be like, hey, listen, I'm not selling it. I mean, you can buy it from me, but I'm not selling it. I have no idea what I'm doing. And what happened was I would share that and say, listen, I don't want to be part of this MLM situation. They're like, but I like the way you teach it. Like, and I like listening to you, and I enjoy learning from you. Like, I've learned so much from you. So I kind of don't want to buy from anyone else. And so it was like, I kept showing up because after all these years of people telling me you are worthless, you are ugly, you are fat, you are only good for one thing, you are nothing, and no one will ever love you. And now I have these other women, in my experience, women are mean to you. They are bullies. They will cut you down the worst they possibly can. And you have these women telling you will have value. Like, they're telling you have value. They're telling you that you've offered something that no one else does. And so now when you have someone finally, like, lifting you up and saying you do all these things, and at first you're like, no, but thank you. Like, I appreciate you feel that way, but no, it's nothing, you know. So just like, go buy from someone else. And then, thank you, Rachel. I love you. I'm so glad I've known you from the beginning. I know, Tiff, that's how I feel too. Like, I'm telling you. So, and I have something interesting about that. So, I have these women telling me, you got to keep showing up, because if you did this for me, like, I know you can do this for others. And then out of nowhere, like, women would, like, watch me, and they're like, I want to join your team. Like, I want to sell this makeup. And I'm like, no, for the love of God, do not join my team. I do not want to be in a pyramid scheme. I do not want it. Now, mind you, by this time I had done my research, and I learned that, the way that Saint had the MLM side of the business set up, they didn't require any minimum sales. So it wasn't like a tactic to just get you to buy product every month and you had to meet a quota. There was nothing like that. And so I was like, it was really no pressure. It wasn't like you had to buy a certain amount of makeup, and if people didn't buy it, you had to come out of pocket. And it wasn't like that. You just paid like the $12 a month for whatever, and that's all you did. And so I thought that was I was like, all right, that's fair, whatever. So I didn't quit. But also, I didn't say, hey, oh, will you buy my makeup? And they were like, oh, if you're in an MLM, what you want to do is you want to message your old high school girlfriends. And I'm like, what high school girlfriends? They pushed me into freaking lockers and told me I was fat every day. So that's the only way I can succeed, is if I embarrass myself and say, hey, we haven't talked in a million years, but do you want to buy my makeup? Absolutely not. I will not be inauthentic. I will not pretend to be like, oh, hey, you have a son. I have a son too. Oh my God, you have a nose. I do too. Do you want to buy my makeup? No. Like, I'm not going to find something fake that we have in common and then use that to start a conversation. That's stupid. It's not real. It's not real. And I could tell when people were doing it to me too. And I was like, oh, no, whatever. And so anyways, but I have these women saying, hey, I want to join your team. And I'm like, oh, for the love of God, please don't. Like, because then you're going to count on me to teach you how to sell this makeup. I don't even know how to sell it. I don't even sell the makeup. I made a video one time and a lady said that it made her feel beautiful. And so then I made another video. And then now everybody's here and I have no idea what's going on. Please don't buy makeup from me and please don't join my team. And so I had... Oh, thank you. When you comment match, I have Instagram set up to send you a message with my color match form. And then once you get color match, the Black Friday deals are for the collections, the pre-made collections. So just use my color match to find the closest pre-made collection if you want the 20% off for Black Friday. But yeah, if you comment match, it'll automatically take you to my color match form, but you can also text me too. That's a real text number. That's really these thumbs. So anyways, now mind you, this is January 2022. I'm 300 pounds. I have no value, no worth. I have, abuse and trauma and rejection and abandonment and all these things in my past. So that's all I know, right? So now you have all these women telling me, oh man, I want to join your team and I want to buy your makeup. And I'm like, please don't, please stop. So over the next few months, I was like, you know what? Apparently I'm doing something good. Like people are seeing something in me. So let me lean into that. Just like the PI thing. I got really good at it. I could control it. And I was like, let me lean into that. So I opened my PI agency. Then I started doing the makeup because I was bored and my best friend and I would do the makeup together and we would FaceTime. And then, that encouraged me to keep playing with makeup. Not for anybody else. Just nobody would see me. I was just doing makeup just to look at myself in the mirror and actually have a mask on. And it felt great. And, so then people were telling me, oh, like you really got something here. Like I really enjoy learning makeup from you. Like you really explained that in a way that made me feel like an idiot, the smartest idiot ever. And now I'm an idiot who knows how to wear makeup. And that was it. Like they were just like, you just explained it like no one has ever explained it before. And holy crap, it just clicked. And so then I was like, okay, these multiple people are telling me that I'm good at this. Let me lean into it. So I always lean into the things that people told me I was good at. Not what I felt I was good at, but what people told me I was good at. Because you seek that positive, right? So when you do your makeup and people say, your makeup is so pretty, your makeup, you lean into the makeup. You're so good at being a PI. Oh my gosh, you is. Yeah, in Florida, you have to be an intern for 2 years, unless you have a criminal justice background like I did. So then you do 1 year. But yeah, you work for someone first, and then you can do whatever you want, basically. So anyway, so I leaned into doing the makeup videos, and I was like, all right. So then I watched the other Saint artists and I was like, okay, these girls have hundreds of thousands of followers. Some of them, not that many, a couple thousand followers, whatever. And I was like, okay, what are they doing? Because success leaves clues. So now I'm like, okay, let me watch them. And mind you, I'm competitive. So now it's like, well, if they can do it, let me see if I can do it too. So then I would watch them and I'd be like, oh, I see what they're doing. And so then I got on the Instagram and I learned everything by myself. I learned what buttons do what. I learned how to upload a video. I learned how to, save it because it will delete it if you don't save it midway. I learned how to add music. I learned how to edit everything on my own. Nobody taught me. Nobody helped me. When I eventually found a team to join, they would have like these team meetings and everything. And like, oh, they had this, I was like, all right, well, these people are counting on me now to sell this makeup. So I'll join the team meetings. Like it's free and they want you to succeed because they're going to earn commission off of you. Right. So, I do love pie. Why you say that? Now I'm hungry for pie. So anyways, I would do their little team meetings and they would like one of the leaders of the girl above me. So, in a pyramid scale, like everybody above you earns a commission off of you. Right. So, they want you to do well. So I'm like, all right, I'll see what you have to offer. And she had paid this business coach or something. And I remember one time this business coach had come and she had joined the team meeting and she said, listen, when you're selling, if someone says no, that doesn't mean no. You just keep asking. You have to ask them 7, 8, 9 times. Just keep asking. And I'm like, bruh, no is a complete sentence. There's no like, oh, you said no? That just means later. No, that's not, no means no, period. Anytime. If it comes back around and it's prompted organically and you end up asking again, fine. Or if they start talking about the subject and you're like, hey, you're talking about this again, do you want to try, or whatever it is that you're selling, and they say no again, guess what? It's no again. But it's not like no. Okay, I'll ask tomorrow. Hey, do you want to do this? No, I said no. You know what I mean? But she was like, no, no doesn't mean no. And I'm like, this is what's wrong with our society. Like, you can imagine where I'm going with this in my head. Like, yes, absolutely no means no in every situation, every time. And so I was so turned off by that. And I was like, this is why I don't want to sell makeup. This is why people don't want to, happy Thanksgiving. Thank you so much. You too. This is why people don't want to do sales, even though they have a great product or whatever it is. And like, there's a way to be tactful about it. And so what I learned was I was watching these other Saint artists doing their videos, and I was like, this is how you do your makeup. You want to apply it in a way that's like this. And the way they were explaining it was very like, they were using the terms for the makeup. They were, like using medical terms like diaphragm. What's it? I had to call my mom the other day and ask her if I had tonsils and if everyone was born with tonsils. And I'm 41 years old. So when you use medical jargon like tonsils, I know what tonsils are? Kind of, I get. What do they do? I don't know. Like, do you know what I mean? So when you use makeup words like jargon like they were using, and it's like, what did she mean by that? What is contour? Do you know what I mean? And so people still ask me to this day, what's the difference between contour and bronzer? Because they don't know, because you can use the word, but it doesn't explain it. So anyways, I'm doing what these other Saint artists were doing. And I was like, I don't talk like this. This isn't how I talk. So from January of 2022 to September of 2022, that's what I did. As I was following the other Saint artists, I was getting a hang of it. And people were liking my videos. And they're like, oh, yeah, that's really great. Like, good for you. This is really wonderful information. Thank you. It was very educational. And then I was like, this is just not who I am. This is an MLM, right? We want you to sell a bunch of freaking makeup. And the more you sell, if you sell this much makeup, like $6,000 a month, I think was the quota or whatever. If you sell that much makeup, you can earn a trip to Mexico. I have no interest in going to Mexico. I've been to Mexico. I've been on cruises. I just got off a cruise to Mexico. I don't care, whatever. But I'm competitive. And mind you, I have no value, no worth, abandonment, trauma, rejection, all of these things. So if you tell me that there's a Mexico trip, even if I don't want to go on it, I bet. So then I was like, I'm going to sell this makeup. So then I came on and I started like, now I know how to do parties, and I learned that was a thing. So then I would do all these other parties, and I was like, you guys want to do a party? And so I was asking people to do Facebook parties like, hey, you really like this makeup. Like, you can do a party. Do you want to invite your friends? And I would say like, I don't really know what I'm doing, but they said there's a trip to Mexico. And so the more makeup I sell, I can go to Mexico. So I don't know, maybe it'd be fun. But honestly, I have no clue what I'm doing. And they'd be like, yeah, I guess. And so I would have these parties, and I would go live, and I would do a makeup tutorial using this makeup in their little party, and their friends would be like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool. Nevertheless, I hit my goal. So I did the thing where now from May to October. So I started in January of 2022. The challenge started in May, and you went through October. And if you could hit all 6 months and hit this goal, then you were going to Mexico. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna be one of those girls. So then I sold all this makeup, and I was breaking all these records, and I don't like, the income was great. Like, you're earning extra money, but that, like, I was winning. Like, I have some value now. I'm someone who never experienced that. So now, and people started noticing like, oh, this girl sells good makeup. That's pretty cool. And so out of all the girls, the girl whose team I joined under, her leader and all the leaders up, like almost all the way, none of them earned the trip to Mexico, but I did. Because I'm competitive, and now people are feeding my ego. Like, oh man, the way that you explain this makeup is so great. So I kept coming on explaining the makeup, and I was trying to do it the Saint Artist way, the way that they were doing it. And then September comes along, and I'm like, this is my last month to hit this goal. Like, I knew I would hit it. But I was like, what can I do that's different? Like, I just feel so cookie cutter. Like, I don't want to be one of these salespeople. I don't want to be in an MLM to begin with. And mind you, by this time, I have like probably 100 girls who've joined my team. Like, they wanted to, and I've never recruited a single soul. If they joined my team, it was because they were like, I like her. I want to be on her team. They say that I taught them stuff, but I have no idea what I was doing. No clue. I have no business teaching anyone how to do anything. So, but we are good, even though Saint isn't an MLM anymore, but we are good, like Now I get to all the thankful stuff and how we like kind of came about full circle. So so I had these people joining my team, and I'm earning this trip to Mexico, and I knew I was going to make it because I had plenty of time, whatever, but I was still stressing out. And so in September 2022, I said, you know what, let me do a PI video. Now, mind you, my college professor said you'll never make it in that industry because you're a girl and that is a man's industry. So he told me I couldn't do it, and I still had that belief. He was right. I was a girl in a man's industry. Couldn't be proud of my job. People told me, oh my gosh, you should share these stories. I'm like, why? It's stupid. So I wouldn't talk about it. My family and friends, I'd be like, this happened, and they'd be like, oh my God, that's so crazy. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's just another day at the office. Like, this guy took a poop in a parking lot of Barnes & Noble. Like, just another day for me. Like, everybody's like, what? Yep, I'm not shocked. I consider myself shockless at this point. You can't shock me with any news, any information, nothing. Blood, guts. Well, I love blood and guts, but like anything, I'm not like, what? Like nothing shocks me. It's wild. So anyways, I was like, I'm gonna tell a PI story, and I had no belief in it, but I was like, I think it would be fun because instead of being like, this is all you do makeup, maybe I can entertain people while I'm doing makeup. So I was like, all right, I'll tell this story. And mind you, I'm 300 pounds, I'm a big girl. I had nothing to offer, no value, no worth, but I did know how to explain how to do makeup. But I was like, I don't want to just explain it. I want to entertain while I'm doing it. And maybe that'll help people. Maybe people will be relaxed because they're enjoying the story, and they'll be relaxed enough to take in the makeup. So I was telling the story while I'm putting on my makeup, sitting in my car. So if you go back to episode 1, that was the one that I just reposted recently. It was the cat episode. And so I told my PI story about what happened on surveillance that night. And it blew up on TikTok. Not so much on Instagram. It was kind of quiet on the Instagram, but people liked it, and they were like, wow, that's incredible. And people responded to it, and people wanted to get called. They're like, hey, what's that makeup? And so they would ask the questions, and I would answer it. And so I was like, okay, like, this is cool. Like, I could, this is a great way to kind of show people the makeup without being like, hey, buy this makeup. I could just say, hey, let me entertain you while I show you something really cool. And then maybe that'll, just chill people out enough. It will entertain them enough to, you know what I mean? Like, they don't feel so stressed. Like, they don't feel like they're being sold to, but at the same time, they can enjoy you while they're learning makeup, whatever. And so people were like, this is really incredible. And I'm like, y'all like that? Like, I didn't expect anybody to like it. I thought they would like it, but I didn't think they'd be like, what? That's crazy. That's so silly. What's that makeup? Oh my gosh, I want to buy it. And so I was like, that's pretty rad. So I was like, all right, success leaves clues. So it's really incredible. Like, you guys like that? I've got 20 years worth of videos to share, or 20 years of the stories to share if y'all want to hear them. So then I posted another one, and it went crazy, mostly on the TikTok, because the TikTok, that's a whole different audience. It's a whole different ball of wax on all the platforms. So then I told another one. So my TikTok's blowing up, and I'm like, all right, that's cool, but not a lot of very serious, like, buyers of MLM products over there. I think that's not even allowed, right? Exactly. No, it's true that you're unsuspecting, and I love it. So then so from September to December, I'm just posting PI stories and having fun with it. And I found, like, I earned my trip to, excuse me, it stressed me out the last month because I almost, like, I thought I wouldn't make it the last month. But I did. So I earned this trip to Mexico, and I was like, yep. And then I found out that I was the only one, and I was like breaking records on the team of, like, the amount of sales. And I was like, that's kind of cool. And I never cared. Like, I never looked at my paycheck. It just went to my account, never cared, whatever. And, I didn't know, but the more people bought makeup from me, the more value I found in myself, because the more people bought makeup from me, the more women I could hear in my head, oh my God, I've never felt so beautiful. You've taught me to apply makeup in a way that makes me feel so much more confident. And so every time I got an email saying you sold makeup, I didn't care about the amount. I never did. That was never a driving factor for me. The driving factor was the Lord was using me for something good. Like, I was being used for something good. And so I was like, I have a purpose. Like, I have, and then I'm still doing surveillance full time, but now I wasn't as bored. Like, now I had women that were, like, not bullying me. And I was like, this is kind of nice to have actual friends. And so we became friends with, like, yes. Whatever that means. So I became friends with the women that were buying makeup for me. I wanted to know more about them. And I was like, thank you. it's really cool for that compliment, like that I made you feel more confident with your makeup. That's a great compliment. When someone says that you did something for them that encouraged them or inspired them or brought some kind of positivity to them. And don't get me wrong, I've had all these, like the trauma and the abandonment and the rejection and the abuse and all that stuff, but I've always been like a positive person. I've always been a positive light. I've always been silly and goofy and outgoing. I've always been loud. I've never met a stranger. I've always been smiley. But a lot of times it was just an outward like appearance thing, not necessarily how I felt. So anyways, from September to December, I'm kind of having fun creating them and editing them and, kind of going back through my old memories and being like, oh my gosh. And my mom would be like, hey, remember this story? You should tell that one. What happened that day? And I was like, oh my God, that guy. And so I would tell that story. So anyways, January of 2023. So exactly 1 year later. So a year and 2 weeks after I signed up with this Saint company that I never really wanted to sign up for. It was all an accident. It was just me playing pretensies in mommy's closet. I had one of my videos. I went to dinner. My husband's birthday dinner was that night, and we went to Sonny's. I don't know if y'all have a Sonny's barbecue, but they have all you can eat ribs. And every year for his birthday, he wants to go to Sonny's, and him and his little buddies come and they eat the whole restaurant out of all you can eat ribs, and they eat the whole restaurant out of ribs. Like, we have to call them before we come and tell them we are coming. Make sure you have extra ribs. Now they know to expect us every year. So all his little guy, but they're on the ribs. It's what we do every year. And so, my TikTok was doing okay. It was fun to connect there, but I got in trouble a lot on TikTok because you do one thing wrong and there's no checks and balances. They'll just like ban you for some weird random reason and then you can't connect with anybody. On my Instagram, I had 900 something followers, and I walked into that restaurant that night, with those 900 followers, and, didn't think much of it. During dinner that night at Sonny's, one of my videos apparently had gone viral, which led to another video going viral, which led to another video. So the 20 or so videos that I posted from September to December basically were all going viral at the same time. Hundreds of thousands of views, some of them millions. And I walked out of that Sonny's restaurant with like 50,000 followers in the course of 2 hours. And I was like, holy crap. So that month I became one of the top sellers at Saint. And it was my biggest paycheck I've ever seen in my life. And then the next month, it tripled as far as my sales and my income. And then the next month, it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And the more videos I posted and the more I would share about, just openly, just talk about, I never asked one person to buy makeup from me. I never said, hey, will you buy makeup from me? Oh, look what it does. Buy it or don't, I don't care. Like, you have to ask me for it. Like, we're not doing this thing where I'm chasing people to love me anymore, right? We're not doing that. This whole MLM thing and the history of the pyramid scheme and all that. And so, I became one of the top sellers that month. And then I'm still one of the top sellers, and we're going on almost 4 years. So it was an incredible journey. And so after that, it kind of humbled me quite a bit. And what happened was after that happened and I kind of like blew up a little bit, it's one of those things where like I feel thankful because the women that I have met along the way, after all of the abuse and the trauma and the rejection and the abandonment and the rape and the all of these things that happened, and the worthlessness that you feel, and you weigh 300 pounds and you are just told that you are fat and you are ugly and you will never have any value whatsoever. And the only thing you're good at is being a PI because it's the only thing you can control. I got good at makeup because people I was bored, and so I started doing makeup, and then people started complimenting my makeup, so I leaned into that. And then whenever my platform started growing, I leaned into that because I was like, okay, I'm inspiring people, which is great. And so one day I was praying, and I was always taught how to pray by using the word acts, like the book in the Bible, Acts, ACTS. So the way that I was taught to pray when I was little was acts. A is acknowledge. So you would acknowledge God, talk to him, whatever. Confess. So like you confess your sins and like whatever. So acknowledge, confess, thanks. So you'd give thanks, and then Santa Claus. So you would ask for anything that you want the Lord to help you with or bless you with or whatever. So you would acknowledge God, you would confess your sins, you would thank him for all of your blessings, and then you would, if there was anything that you wanted his help with. So that's how I was taught to pray. But sometimes I would find myself just saying thank you. Like, I was just like, thank you for this blessing or whatever, because I realized that, like, the more you focus on what you have, the less you realize what you don't have. So it's almost like an acknowledgement of what you have. So I was so thankful, so grateful for the opportunity, because along with the high sales, just kept all these friendships. And like, people wanted to be my friend when I was fat, when I was 300 pounds. The women here on this platform, and the other platforms, the women buying makeup from me, they wanted to be my friend even when I was fat. Even when I was told I was fat and ugly, so I had no worth. So even when, in my mind, I had no worth, these women wanted to be my friend. They didn't care that I was, they didn't know anything about my story, about my number of followers. They didn't know how big my commission checks were. They didn't know. They just knew that we connected over makeup, and they became my friends. And that's why, like, whenever when I talk about when I post my phone number and I'm like, just text me, I hate automating anything, because I want everything to be one-on-one. I want everything to be from me. That's why I insist on, like, customer service being on point. Like, I trained Instagram, like, if you say the word match, it'll DM you the thing that says, here's my color match form, whatever. So I've had to automate some things just because it's grown so big. But I am so thankful for the friendships that I have kind of flourished with over these years. So a lot of you have been here since the very beginning. Thank you, Debbie. It's so good to see you. I love you so much. So that's why a lot of times, like, when I make the joke, but I put my phone number there because you can really text me, and it's really me who texts back. And sometimes I'll be like, hey, you'll be like, thank you, thank you for your help. And I'll be like, you're welcome. How's your dog? Or whatever. Like, I'll be having some random conversations because that's what I feel like you're my friend. And so I'm just so thankful that you guys haven't been like, okay, she's a creepo weirdo. But one day I was praying, and I said, thank you, God. I don't know why you're blessing me with this. I don't know what I did to deserve this. Like, obviously I've done some crazy stuff. Like, I'm a sinner. I have done so many bad things. I've hurt people. I've lied, cheated, stolen, all the things. I'm a bad person. I'm whatever. I've done all these things in my life and whatever. I don't understand why you would bless me in such a way that like, contributing, or I'm actually helping somebody, or I'm actually, whatever it is. I was like, thank you for these blessings. And all I heard, and I'm telling you, I don't hear the Lord talk to me. Like, I'm not someone, my mom does all the time. She's a pastor. She hears God all the time. But me, I'm like, I'm an overthinker. And so if I hear him, I don't know that it's him. Anyways, I heard loud and clear, as if he was standing right next to me. He said, I am not blessing you. I am blessing them. And I was like, first of all, rude. Like, straighten me out real quick. Because in that moment, I learned that this isn't about me. Like, it's not about, oh, finally, like, God loves me. Like, he's finally blessing me with all these friends. It wasn't about that. God said, I'm going to use you to bless all of these people. So basically, it's like, I gave you this big, large, loud mouth for a reason. And what's interesting, and this is what the coolest part is, the story of David and Goliath. God didn't say, I want David to be a king, and then he just gives him a crown, and that's what he does. God gave David Goliath to prepare him for being that king, to prepare him to fight. And so now, looking back on all the trauma and all the abuse and all the things that I went through, where I just thought, why did God even give me this life? And there were times I just didn't feel like I should be here anymore. Like, what's the point? And so now I look back at all those years when I was the ugly fat girl, when I felt unworthy, when I felt unloved, when I felt like I had no value to anyone ever, and when I was alone, and when I was isolated. And I look back on all those times, and it was my Goliath. Like, he was preparing me. He was preparing me to use me, to serve others. And I think that's what a lot of us don't realize, is that we have a purpose. Like, no matter what, like, so many people experience, like, they have financial problems, or, you have trouble losing weight, or relationship problems, or whatever it is.
But it's like, there's a reason that you're there, and it's to prepare you for something bigger that you can offer maybe to someone else and encourage or inspire them. So all those things I went through, all the abuse, all the torment, and feeling worthless and all of those things were to prepare me to serve others. God was preparing me because every day, girl, you do not understand how much you've helped me or encouraged me or inspired me, or my daughter wants to be a PI now, or, you've helped my teenager, feel more secure. You've helped her feel more confident, or, I just relate to you so much, or you're just so kind. Like, you have no idea how far your kindness can go for someone. And so just to know that, like, everything that I went through and all my traumas, they prepared me to be something for someone else. So, I joke that, yes, exactly. He turns a test into a testimony. So it's it's one of those things where, like, you just don't know how whatever you're going through is going to impact someone else. And so I make the joke, the Missy Elliott song, put that thing down, flip it and reverse it. And so I say that because a lot of the trauma, like when we're traumatized and we have all this pain in our heart, we tend to be angry and we hold on to it. And so we hurt others. And so when I have trolls, they come on here and they tell me I'm fat. I lost 175 pounds. They still tell me I'm fat. You can't win. I weigh 127 pounds. And they tell me I'm fat. I don't know what to tell you no more. Like, at this point, I'm just like, y'all just talking to talk. But they'll come on, they'll tell you all these bad things. That's anger. Nobody that has joy in their heart will ever be able to say something mean like that. Nobody. So you have to remember that when you're considering how others feel about you, if they feel negatively about you, it's just a reflection on themselves. This is them. And also, whenever they make fun of me, usually I go look them up on an old Google machine and I find out they got some skeletons that are way worse than mine, and they do not want me to expose those. So, thank you for sharing that. I'm sorry. I knew I'd cry, but I wanted to share this. I wanted to share this with y'all on Thanksgiving, because I was like, first of all, if anybody else is alone on Thanksgiving, I wanted to be a place where you could go, because I'm alone too, but the boys are gone. They're doing their own thing. And so this is my, like, I guess, like, I think it's just, if you can serve others in a way that is positive, all the trauma, all the rejection, it's still there. Don't get me wrong. And that was another point I wanted to make too, was that we look at influencers and we look at celebrities and we go, oh, they're so cool. Gosh, I wish I was like them. You have no idea how many influencers are crying themselves to sleep at night because they're struggling in their relationship, or they're struggling with addiction, or they're struggling, whatever it is. Their weight, in my case, is my weight. There's always something, there's always a battle going on that you don't know anything about. Nobody's better than you. They might have different problems than you, but they ain't better than you. Nobody's better than you. Nobody is better than you. And so that's why I really find it, cool that on days like today, like on Thanksgiving, I have so much to be thankful for. And a lot of it is you guys, my audience. Because if it wasn't for my audience, who, like, the very first woman who said, hey, you made a difference in my life. Like, I feel pretty, or whatever it is. I built confidence in someone, or I positively impacted someone's life, or even as simple as making them smile. You never know do you know how many people have messaged me and said, girl, I was at the end of my rope and I really wanted to end it. I wanted to end it all. And then I saw your video, and now I feel like I could do something more, or I'm worth something bigger. So that's why I was like, I can't stop sharing. The Lord really is using me. He's really using me to bless others. Not only that, but being a top seller here, I earn a good income from selling makeup. I earn commission. When you guys buy makeup, I earn commission. And because of the added income, I've been able to bless others, my family, and, help other people that are close to me, if they need something. And so I'm not blessing you, I'm blessing them. It was like, I'm blessing the audience. I'm blessing them with confidence, or, you know, giving you the means to help someone in a financial situation. It's just whatever it is. I'm not blessing you. I'm blessing them. With my son, I feel like I have the opportunity to stay home and like be with him a little bit more. And so that's been a blessing. I don't do surveillance as much anymore. So anyways, I kind of went around my ass to get to my elbow for the last 2 hours to tell y'all how thankful I am for you, because if it wasn't for you guys trusting me, listening to me talk up, or trying me, whatever it is that brings you here and keeps you here, and, you know, connects us in our spirit as friends. Like, I feel like we're best friends sitting in the living room talking. Whatever it is that brings you here, I'm thankful for you. And I can honestly say that I feel so thankful that I finally feel, it's still in my head. I still suffer from the body dysmorphia, and I still feel that feeling of worthlessness, and that's stuff that you eventually have to work on, and you have to overcome it by therapy. So definitely therapy is helping for sure. But I think that's where, like, everybody says, oh, you're such an inspiration. And I'm like, you guys inspired me. I wouldn't have continued to show up if it wasn't for that one person who said, hey, you taught me makeup, and now I feel really confident and really beautiful, and I've never felt this pretty. And she's crying, and my husband has complimented me, and he never complimented me, and this is wild. And then the next woman did, and the next woman did, and they're like, oh my gosh, like, this is so great. And I was like, wow, okay, talks too much on my report card every day for the freaking 18 years, and then now it's like, talks too much, congratulations, like, here's a new friend. It's really cool. So I hope that you are encouraged and inspired to look around you and kind of see what you're thankful for. And it's so easy to accept the your uglies, and not as easy to accept the your beautifuls, right? So it's easier to accept the bad thing, just like it's easier to look at all the things that we don't have, and it's harder to look at the things that we do have and say, you know what, I'm thankful for this. And so I hope you spend your Thanksgiving feeling really thankful for yourself and how far you've come, and thankful for all the time ahead of you that's yet to come, that you can do whatever you want with, and you can choose to, find a way to make it positive, and that's really hard. So anyways, I just want to tell you, I'm really thankful for you guys, and thankful for you being here and stuff. Aw, Tammy, thank you so much. That really makes me so happy. I feel like you guys are friends. Like, I feel like I want to be that person who's like, hey, look at the weight I've lost. Here's a before and here's an after. I want to show you, like, the hello goodbyes, like the skin, the chunks that's still there. Like, I'll show you anything. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we're real humans out here. Influencers are real humans. They'll show you only what they want you to see, but they're still that you remember that, and nobody is better than you. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. The Lord made you just as you are. Oh, yay! Hannah, you're alone too. I love it. I love that it's like, I felt kind of silly. I was like, nobody's going to be alone for Thanksgiving, but I will be. But if you're alone, like, you got me. I'll be here. So I'm going to get off of here. I'm so thankful you guys let me kind of jump in and interfere with your Thanksgiving day. I hope that you have a really great day and enjoy your meals and your families and whatever it is that you're doing today, and the sports ball, if that's your thing. Hope everyone has fun. Go team, go. I'm going to go and respond to text messages and respond to your messages on the socials and do everything I can to help you with any questions that you have. The Black Friday deal is on right now, to the Saint Black Friday, Amazon's Black Friday. Yeah, go sports. So if you have questions about makeup, I'll be here to text me. The phone number, I'm a real boy. It's really me. Just texting back, and I will respond as quickly as possible. And yeah, that's all there is to it. So message me, text me, send a carrier pigeon, whatever you got to do. If you just need a friend, if you need to just say, hey, I love you, I'll tell you I love you back. Oh, let me go check my text. Okay, I love you guys, and I hope you have a wonderful day and a wonderful Thanksgiving. I'm so thankful for you. Thank you for, just being my friend. Okay, I love you guys. Bye.